Okay, our next speaker is Youn Lee from Samsung Medical Center in Korea, who's going to talk on a population of cells that I've never heard of before. I'm not sure I can pronounce. So CD13 A Marker for onychofibroblasts within the nail matrix, onychodermis, comparison of the expression in the nail unit and in the hair follicle.
Thank you very much for the nice introduction. I came from South Korea, not North Korea. I will talk about CD13 expression in the human nail unit and in human hair follicles. Nail unit consists of epithelial components and mesenchymal components. Epithelial components include nail matrix, nail bed, and nail plate. Nail is closely related to hair. They have many things in common, as illustrated by diseases, morphology, and analysis of the biological constituents. For example, the nail and hair express hard keratin. In hair follicles, there are specialized mesenchymes, including follicular dermal papilla and dermal sheath. Dermal papilla cells and dermal sheath cells are specialized mesenchymal cells. They are distinguished from dermal fibroblasts. As you know, they can induce hair follicle development in vivo. Based on the findings of hair follicles, epithelial mesenchymal interactions are expected to be essential for nail growth. Thus, there might be also specialized mesenchyme and mesenchymal cells in the nail unit. However, there has been very little study on the mesenchyme and mesenchymal cells of the nail unit. Previously, we found that CD10 was expressed in dermal sheath and dermal sheath cells of the hair follicles in human scalp. Based on this finding, we thought that CD10 might be expressed in nail mesenchyme. To the good surprise, we found that CD10, this is a frozen longitudinal section of polydactyly sample. We found that CD10 was localized in nail mesenchymal cells below the nail matrix and proximal nail bed. Based on this finding, we proposed a new terminology for nail mesenchymal cells, onychrofibroblasts. This is our H&E staining. You can see much more cellularic and less eosinophilic, loose connective tissue below the nail matrix and nail bed compared with the dermis of the adult pouch. These are transverse sections. As expected in longitudinal section, you can see less eosinophilic, loose connective tissue below the nail matrix and nail bed. These are Artian blue stainings. As you know, you can see abundant mucin in dermal papilla and dermal sheath in hair follicles. In the nail unit, we can see blue-colored mucin below the nail matrix and nail bed compared with the dermis of the adult pouch. This is CD10 immunohistochemistry. You can see strong CD10 expression in the nail mesenchyme below the nail matrix and nail bed compared with the dermis of the adult pouch. These are Furcicon stainings. As you know, Furcicon is expressed in dermal papilla and dermal sheath in hair follicles. In the nail unit, Furcicon was expressed in the nail mesenchyme, especially below the nail matrix and nail bed. Based on these findings, we proposed the terminology onychodermis for the specialized nail mesenchyme containing onychofibroblasts because it is histologically and immunohistochemically distinguished from the dermis of the adult pouch. We presented the concept of onychodermis in American Academy of Dermatology meeting last year. After our publication, another group demonstrated the concept of the onychodermis in the fetus. CD13 is a kind of ectopeptidase. It is often co-expressed with CD10. It is found in different tissues and organs, including sites of epithelial, mesenchymal interactions, such as dermal papilla of hair follicles. In this study, to further characterize the onychodermis in the nail unit in relation to a hair follicle, we compared CD13 expression patterns between specialized mesenchymes of nail and hair. In addition, we compared the CD13 expression with that of CD10. 10 polydactyly cases, 3 normal nail unit from adult cadavers, and 3 livus sebaceous cases of the scalp were included. This is adult nail unit from cadaver compared with a polydactyly sample. The presence of onychodermis was less pronounced. However, you can see the presence of onychodermis containing onychrofibroblasts below the nail matrix. These are polydactyly cases as shown before. CD10 was expressed in the mesenchyme below the nail matrix and nail bed. We found a stronger CD13 expression in the mesenchyme containing onychofibroblasts below the nail matrix compared to that below the nail bed. These are adult cases. As in polydactyly samples, CD10 was expressed in the mesenchyme below the nail matrix and nail bed. A stronger CD13 expression was found in the mesenchyme containing onychofibroblasts below the nail matrix compared with that below the nail bed. You can see CD13 positive onychofibroblasts below the nail matrix. These are livus sebaceous cases. CD10 was expressed only in dermal sheaths of terminal hair follicles. However, CD10 was expressed in the dermal sheaths as well as dermal papilla of primitive hair follicles. CD13 was expressed in the dermal sheaths as well as dermal papilla of terminal hair follicles and primitive hair follicles. In this study, we found stronger CD13 expression in the mesenchyme containing onychofibroblasts below the nail matrix compared to that below the nail bed. In the scalp tissue, CD13 was expressed in the dermal sheaths as well as dermal papilla of terminal hair follicles. These findings provide another evidence of the similarity between the nail and hair. The strong expression of CD13 in the mesenchyme below the nail matrix in the nail unit suggests that CD13 seems to be a marker for onychofibroblasts within nail matrix onychodermis. Previously, hard keratin was induced in non-nail matrix keratinocyte by the fibroblast around nail matrix through the epithelial mesenchymal interactions. However, they did not determine the characteristics of the specialized mesenchymal cells in vivo. Based on this finding and our results, the specialized nail mesenchyme containing onychofibroblasts might be the anatomical and functional counterpart of the mesenchyme of hair follicles. Onychometricoma is rare benign tumor of the nail matrix. However, histopathologically, it is a fibroepithelial tumor. Recently, the concept of epithelial onychogenic tumor with onychogenic mesenchyme was suggested. We found that CD10 was found in the stroma of onychometricoma. In addition, we found that CD13 was expressed in all cases of onychometricoma. Based on its components and location, onychodermis might be related to the occurrence of the onychometricoma. CD10 and CD13 expression in the stroma of the onychometricoma support that onychometricoma might be derived from the onychodermis. Taken together, neomatrix onychodermis might be involved in the histogenesis of the onychometricoma. In conclusion, we found a strong expression of CD13 in the mesenchyme below the nail matrix in the nail unit. These findings suggest that CD13 may be a marker for onychrofibroblasts within nail matrix onychodermis. Further studies are necessary to determine whether the CD13 positive nail matrix onychodermis containing onychofibroblasts serves a functional counterpart of follicular dermal papilla. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for a very nice presentation. Do we have any questions for this paper? If not, we will move on to the next paper because we are running a bit short of time. Thank you very much.